My name is Alex. I'm 32. And maybe the hardest part of this whole story is admitting that I saw the end long before it actually happened. Her name was Lisa, 29. The kind of person who walked into a room and somehow made it feel softer, lighter, warmer. The first time I saw her was in a coffee shop near my office. She was sitting by the window, sketching something in a worn-out notebook, completely lost in her own world. She had this look on her face, like she was listening to music only she could hear. I accidentally spilled coffee near her table. She laughed, shook her head, and said, "Let me guess, you're the kind of person chaos follows around?" I answered, "Only on weekdays." That was how it started. Quietly, naturally, no fireworks, no dramatic confessions. Just two people who kept finding reasons to stay near each other. 3 years passed like one long, gentle breath. And during all that time, I thought our love was safe. Steady, like a home I could always return to. But homes don't collapse with one loud crash. Sometimes they fall apart brick by brick, in silence. The first cracks were small. Lisa became distant. She snapped over little things. She spent more time inside her own head. When I asked what was wrong, she always gave the same answer. "I'm just tired. Or worse. I don't know. I don't know." Those 3 words can drain the life out of any relationship. Then someone new started showing up in her stories. A coworker named Artyom. At first it was harmless. Artyom said this today. Artyom showed me a funny video. Artyom thinks we should try that new place. But soon, his name became a constant echo in our conversations. Not threatening, not romantic, just present. And that was the worst part. It wasn't jealousy. It was the realization that I no longer mattered the way I used to. I wasn't the one she ran to with her thoughts anymore. I wasn't the one she confided in. Something in her had shifted, not all at once, but slowly, like a tide pulling away from the shore. It happened on a quiet Thursday. Lisa came home late, too late. Her perfume lingered in the air, mixed with a faint trace of someone else's cologne. Not strong, not obvious, but not mine. She sat on the edge of the bed, her back to me. "You're still awake?" she asked. "I was waiting," I said. She didn't respond. She just breathed in, breathed out, like she was preparing herself for something painful. Then she finally spoke. "Alex, I don't feel good in this relationship anymore. It's strange how people react when their world begins to fall apart." On the outside, I stayed calm, almost peaceful. Inside, something collapsed. "Why?" I asked quietly. Silence. Then, "Because I don't love the same way I used to. I've tried, I really have, but something in me feels empty." Empty. That word felt like a blade. I wanted to yell, to demand answers, to ask her when exactly she stopped seeing me the way she used to. But instead, I nodded. Because that's what you do when you love someone, even when they're letting you go. She said she needed space. And all I could say was, "Okay," even if it wasn't okay at all. Over the next few weeks, I tried to pretend everything was normal. But we were living in 2 different worlds under the same roof. She slept facing away from me. She stopped laughing at my jokes. She stopped touching me altogether. No hugs, no kisses, not even a brush of her hand against mine. I missed her even when she was sitting right next to me. And Artyom's name kept coming up. Less often than before, but always in moments where I felt the weakest. One night, I heard her in the kitchen, whispering. Her voice was low, soft, the way she used to speak to me. She said someone's name. It wasn't mine. I didn't confront her, not because I was afraid of the truth. I already knew it, but because I didn't want her to think I was angry. I wasn't angry. I was grieving a relationship that was dying in slow motion. The real end wasn't a fight. It wasn't betrayal. It wasn't even dramatic. It was a Sunday morning. Lisa made coffee. I sat across from her. And the silence between us was so heavy it felt like an actual object in the room. She finally said, "Alex, I think we both know this isn't working anymore." I nodded. Because what else was there to do? Then she said something that finished me. "You deserve someone who loves you fully, not someone who's trying to figure out if they still do." She packed her things slowly, quietly, carefully, as though she didn't want to wake a sleeping animal. And then she left. Just like that. 3 years built together, and gone in 40 minutes. People think heartbreak is one big moment, one explosion of pain. But they're wrong. Heartbreak is waking up and forgetting she's gone for half a second. Heartbreak is making 2 cups of coffee out of habit. Heartbreak is seeing something funny and instinctively wanting to send it to her. Heartbreak is the absence of things. It's the silence where her voice used to be. For a long time, I blamed myself. Maybe I wasn't enough. Maybe I didn't notice her fading fast enough. Maybe I loved too quietly, too calmly. But over time, I realized something important. Sometimes people drift apart not because someone did something wrong, but because their hearts were never meant to grow old together. Some loves are meant to be lessons, not lifetime stories. And Lisa, she was the biggest lesson of my life. It's been 8 months. I'm not healed, not completely, but I'm no longer drowning. I'm learning who I am without her. I'm rediscovering small things. Music I stopped listening to, books I abandoned, hobbies I forgot. And sometimes, late at night, I think about Lisa. Not with anger, not with sadness, with gratitude. Because even though she broke my heart, she also taught me how deeply I'm capable of loving. And one day, maybe that love will find someone who wants to hold on to it. Someone who won't let it fade. Someone who won't walk away. But until then, I'm just learning to breathe again.